Hey guys, welcome to the Smokers Lounge. It's your boy Illdok.
It's your boy Blerbs.
And we just like to thank everyone who's been listening so far. It means the world.
And if you could spare the time to like, rate and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Much love.
Peace.
What's going on? Welcome to episode 55 of the Smokers Lounge. It's your boy Illdok.
It's your boy Blerbs.
And we are here today. We're joined by TP Dubs, Sever.
It's cracking.
What's going on, bro?
It's all good.
How you been?
Yeah, good. Just business as usual. I am essential at home and at work, so that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
A lot of people are upset at me because they can't get a hold of me, but it's just, dad life first,
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
I feel like that's a word that's like no one's ever really called themselves essential.
Up until COVID happened.
Yeah, until now it's like, no, I'm essential. I'm essential to the fucking economy.
It's funny though that because it's like you get people that have lost their jobs and they're like, but my job is my job's essential, and the people whose jobs are essential are like, why the fuck am I essential?
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling the boys at work, I'm like, yo, we're lucky to keep our jobs, like, and get paid good for it as well. You know what I mean? Like, because a lot of people just kind of like, they don't want to work. They're like, oh, this guy, good holiday, good time off.
Yeah.
But it's like, a lot of people, a lot of young people out there would have just taken out like house loans and all sorts of stuff, and then bang, both of it. Like, I think it was like 46% of households one person lost their job, and I think it was 19% both people lost their job. So those are big numbers, really.
Fuck yeah. Well, my brother's like prime example. He bought a car maybe like a month or so, a couple of months before the whole COVID thing. And as soon as it came into action, he got fucking made redundant straight away. Luckily, he managed to pick up work again with the same company. They managed to pick up some more stuff,
And there's like a lot of
even then I was like, fuck, like
there's a lot of things in place to sort of help people out, but it's what's going to happen in a year's time or 2-3 years time when everyone's paying back, or catching up on what.
So what's the go? I don't understand what the go is with the whole JobKeeper stuff. Like you don't pay that money back, do you?
No, I don't think so.
You'd like to think not, but then Centrelink are dogs.
This is one thing that I've, like, touch wood, thank God, I've never even I didn't know anything about Centrelink because I was homeless, I think, for 11 months when I was like 13, and it's like, and then a concreter picked me up, taught me how to do my own tax and all that kind of stuff, and I've never had to use Centrelink at all, just because I've always I get almost like anxious if I'm not working, or it's like debilitating if I can't. The longest time I had never worked was 2 weeks until I lost my job. Once I fucked up, I was contracting up north, and I had a charge put against me, and I was out of work for like 6 months, and that shit was like debilitating as fuck. I mean, I got heaps of music done, but I was like depressed as hell because it's like work is just. I know, it's like I've got to be busy, like
having that structure there to keep you.
Yeah, like I freak out about shit. Like I'm like I don't want to. I never had a credit card, never had to use Centrelink, and because I think that, and like I understand there's people in situations that have to use it, but there's a lot of people that don't have to use it that use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's always a job out there that people just don't want to do, and when I haven't been in between jobs or stuff, I go for those jobs because there's heaps of them out there that just people don't want.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to clean a toilet.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah, for sure. It's weird, like, I don't know, I was sort of in two ways about it. Like, I didn't lose any hours, but part of me, like what you were saying, part of me was like, fuck, it would be nice to have a couple of weeks off and chill out, but I don't know.
That's where I was lucky with the, because of the flights, like Rio had to start charting flights, obviously because everything was grounded. So, and to keep in like the whole 2 weeks quarantine, we changed from a 2-1 roster to 2-2. So we're 2 weeks away and then come home for 2 weeks, which has been good. So then I've got a bit of a balanced life, give me a taste of that even time roster, which ultimately I want, just to be home more. But yeah, I was lucky in that sense, I guess, because I had plenty of work and plenty of time off.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. You know, it was lucky to be essential. But the funny thing about it is, it's like when the first all came in, we just had to like BHP and FMG, they set up like a little desk with a paper you had to fill out like
do you feel sick?
You know, do you feel sick?
Yeah.
You know, you've been overseas, it's like, no, the borders are fucking closed, you know, all this kind of shit. And they take your temperature and off you go. Rio being Rio, of course they had to like border off half the short-term parking and make this big marquee, like this huge like circus tent, and like, you know, you drop your bag off, you go down this like tunnelway that looks like fucking something out of E.T., you know, when they quarantine off the street in the cul-de-sac and the long tubes. You walk down there and then they got pens that you use once and then get rid of, like,
holy shit.
And then you go through, they ask you the questions, take your temperature, go through the swab, they prick you with a needle and they test your immunity, like your antibodies and stuff, and then you got to stand on a dot and wait for your test to come through, and then they give you a wristband. And the first time we did this, we got our wristband and then we walked through and we see everyone in FMG and BHP just going, oh yeah,
yeah.
We get to site and they're like, where's your wristband? And we're like, oh, well, they said it was just to get on the plane. And like, no, I can't let you on. Bus loads of people rocking up and the security guy's like, I can't let you on site. You got no wristbands and all this kind of stuff. And then he's like, it's all safety first and everything. And then he goes, who hasn't got a wristband? And everyone puts their hand up. He goes, oh, but we can't stop production. Like, you know, like,
yeah, no shit.
So it was just like, you don't give a fuck. It's like, you just wanted to have that little bit of power. And then you realise, like, ooh, you know, that's Australia's economy. You know, like mining saved us from going into like it kind of kept us above water a bit in that sense, like, for the economy. But we're still, like they said, going into a recession. But
yeah, it's weird because like WA is, well, I mean, as of today, WA is to some extent back to fucking normal. Like,
not far off it.
Well, not far. I mean, like, what, 100 cap on venues.
Yeah.
So, but that's enough to go with your mates down the pub, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like I said, like, I went with Omek the other day, and it was just fucking foreign getting a beer at the bar.
Oh, I can't fucking wait.
Even like, just gigs. You know what I mean? Like now, all of those kind of things have came back to, like, you know, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but like now we can hold a gig, and I mean, obviously there's a lot of people out there that are going to get more than 100, but I could probably do a gig.
Who's going to be the person who like takes that first gig, where it's like you've got a limitation on how many people can go? Not me.
I'm notorious for not doing shows or touring.
Yeah,
it just doesn't interest me that much. Like I love getting up with the crew and you know, doing a joint set and all that kind of shit. But a lot of shit that I've seen over time, going to live gigs and shit like that, it's not what I thought it was about. Like, and especially after this stuff happened with the dude at Drew's gig where Kev,
yeah, that shit's fucked up.
But like you know, like, and I don't know what happened with all that kind of stuff, but I mean, no one deserved that, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what was going on. And I just thought to myself, man, like, on my my last album, I did a track called Ego with Dundee, where I kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, but like, Bitter was originally going to be on that, but he was touring with Draft and trying to do his next, I think it's the Elephant Gift or Elephant Project. I can't remember. Sorry, Bits. But yeah, so I ended up doing it with Dundee, but I touch on that a bit, you know. It was like, you know, am I advocating that? You know, I get up, everyone wants to hear Batter Up, everyone wants to hear Bloodstained Nikes, you know, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, that at the time was like, yeah, it was relevant, but it's not relevant. I'm dad now. I've got 3 kids, like, that's what my focus is, and I'm working on bettering myself, and like, all that shit just seems so juvenile now, you know, and it's like, but people want to hear it still, and it's like, am I advocating that every time I go to a show when people are drunk and like, you know, susceptible to like give into their egos or to get into, you know, blues and misunderstandings and stuff like that. And so I think to myself, I was like, man, like, you kind of feel a bit of responsibility like behind it. And like, but there's a lot of other things as well, like, you know, Bits kind of touched base on it on the podcast that you guys did, where you see someone in the front row, like, just going, moving their mouth, and like you'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna give them. You won't say anything. Oh, like this is a new track or anything like that. You can even say that. You can go, yeah, this is a new track I haven't released or whatever. And there'll be at least one or two people in the front row that know that shit word for word, and you just want to go like Bits is probably a little bit more like mature about it than I am when it comes to like where he's just like, okay, whatever, they're having a good time, whatever. But it's like, for me, it kills my vibe hard. I'm just like, why? Why come out? Why come out? Why pay money to come to the show? It's like, and I'm still not even one of those people that's like, I don't give a fuck. At least you pay to get in. I get that money still. Yeah. I'm not like that. I'm like, I want my supporters at my shows that know you're standing in a spot right now that someone a couple of rows back couldn't get to, that knows everything, that should be at the front, because you just want to be in the scene.
What do you get from pretending to be into it?
Oh, I don't know. Like I sometimes just want to put the mic, down. But it's like, then what? I'm the one that looks like a fuckhead. I mean, and it's pretty much just bullying, And I can't advocate, mental health and all that shit, and then be doing shit like that, But it just drives me mental. Just know that I see you guys out there. I see you. Like it drives me mental. Like it shits me. Like and I carry it through the night as well. Like I just later on I'm just like, why the fuck people got to fucking pretend to know the shit? Like at least listen to it and see if it's a song that you like. But it drives me mental. A lot of people just come out and there's a lot of like facades, like people just not being who they are and shit like that. And I just don't care about it anymore. Like the attention of like before, like there's just nothing really in shows for me anymore. And it's like, I know that's where the money is, but I just like with this last release, I just enjoyed making it because it's honest. And what I started, like when I started writing music, I wrote music for me, Shell, Defect, and whoever else was standing around the little shitty DJ thing that we put the burnt CD into to listen to and go, holy shit. Like we made that, you know?
For sure.
But you kind of lose your way a little bit. But I found myself again. I was just like, I'm just making music to kind of, as an outlet.
I think I'm in sort of similar position. Like Bitter asked me on that episode what part of the process like I enjoy the most. And I said that being in the studio and recording and like listening back to it. Like
that is always the best part. Is when you record it and it's all done and dusted. You get out of the studio. First thing you do. So I always go to I always say to Uncle Sam or to Shaker. I go. Can you just send me a rough bounce of that? As soon as I get in my car, boom, aux cable in, and it's just like fuck yeah. Like putting it out is like the hard part. It's like the effort. It's like, oh my god, I guess I better put this on distro again. Get this on all my platforms. Then you have to put a post about it and shit. It's like I just want to make it and be like, that's fucking mint,
For sure. So, have you done gigs over East at all?
Yeah,
you have.
I think I've done a couple solo, like a few solo sets maybe, but mainly I've gone over with the boys or something, and because I've always worked FIFO, I remember a few times I'd fly home from work and jet straight away and meet the boys in Sydney or in the Gold Coast and shit, and they were great times, and it's because I enjoy doing it with the boys because that's how it started, just doing music with the boys kind of thing. But when it comes to doing a solo tour and shit like that, and it just doesn't really interest me that much. I'm in it because of the company. Do
you get hit up? Do you have people sort of say,
people heaps here, Coffs Harbour, Melbourne, Brisbane. Brisbane, I've been asked heaps to come to Brisbane, and but geez, the last time I did a show in Brisbane was the most dodgiest shit. We landed and this dude picks us up in this commie with it. It's the same story as kind of like what happened to Cogs. I can't remember I can't remember when he did his show, if it was in Brisbane or Melbourne. But some dude picked him up in some Commodore and it's they needed money for fuel. Same shit, man. We got picked up. We're all crammed in this car. No license plates. He's like, I've just got to pull in and see a mate. Pulls in, grabs some gear, pulls over on the side of the road, has a glass, and it's just like, the fuck? And then we get to the venue, and he's like, we'll get our bags out to go to the venue. He goes, you can leave your bags in the car. And I'm like, fuck.
No shit.
I'm from Armidale, I just seen you smoke,
That's fucking insane.
And then we got in there, nothing was set up. There was no fallbacks, nothing. It was just like these little speakers up the top of the stage that faced the crowd. Some Irish dude these are the worst ones, is when it's done and it's not even like set up as a gig, and there's just general public in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, some Irish dude tried to fight me, like, and
man.
like it was just, and this, you couldn't hear yourself, and the mics were just like super shitty, like, you know, like karaoke mics, like they don't even plug in at the back, they just got a long cable that plug in somewhere. It was terrible. And Shell was sick as fuck. Like, I remember after the gig, like, we were walking back to the hotel, and he just starts fucking like bleeding profusely out of his nose, like,
fuck.
Like, and his hands just full of like blood, and like it looked like it was all like coagulated and stuff. Like, it was just like a shit experience.
Who was the dude? Was he a promo dude?
I got no idea who the fuck he was. I don't remember his name.
You just all got in the wrong car.
We were like, and we made him put us in a hotel, because I think we were meant to stay with them or something or whatever. But we made him put us in a hotel like up the road. We're just like, it was the worst shit. Like, I know I've done some shit shows before, and that was just that takes a cake. And that's, so you can see why I'm kind of apprehensive to go back to like Brisbane, but I mean, that's just a one-off, you know. I'm sure shit's changed and everything like that, but...
Go back and the Irish dude's just waiting for you at the airport. I was waiting for this fucking day.
But
that
like...
was a terrible Irish accent.
That was full English.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, are you... what is your nationality?
I'm English, yeah.
Because you know what shits me that I can't stand?
What?
Is
English people?
No. No. Nothing... I love listening to the podcast and everything, but it's when you say... I think it's after...
yeah.
How do you say parents?
I say parents, yeah.
There's there's a couple words that you say, and I go,
definitely would be.
I go, what? Because like Shell is the same. Like, everyone says parents, but he says parents, and I don't know what it's like. What is correct? No, he's Aussie,
yeah,
and we've always been funny about like using the American twangs and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But he says parents, and I think it's parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this issue with my old man because he says engine. And it's
instead of what?
Like engine.
Oh, real?
Engine.
Yeah. And I've
sounds
heard multiple
English.
people do it, and it's always like older boys too. And it's like, oh yeah, just ripping out the engine. It's like, hang on.
Motor vehicle.
Yeah, there's something fucking
motor
off
vehicle.
There.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what is your nationality? Are you
English? Yeah.
English? Do they reckon that's where it comes from? Like after?
Yeah. It would.
Wait.
After. I've lost. So like where I'm from in the UK, the accent that I would have if I still lived there is like fuck and bucket and duck and shit like that.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but the one thing that I've always kept, like I lost that, so I say fuck or bucket or whatever. So I've lost that little fucking sound or whatever you call it. But the one thing that's always stayed with me that I just can't get rid of is after, grass, pasta.
Yeah, right. Well, it makes sense now.
Shit like that.
Because I was like, what is this guy's nationality?
It's even saying podcast. Like, everyone says podcast, but I say podcast.
You seen that Tom Hanks show, Castaway? Castaway.
It's like that. You just get used to it after a while.
Can you pass me the caster sugar?
Except when he says basketball. I hear that every fucking time.
Basketball.
Basketball, yeah.
Basketball. My younger brother, his missus is from the UK, Katie, and she's got a thick like UK accent. But that's what I was just like what I was trying to figure out where you were from, and I was just like, because I was like, it's like after, like every time you'd say it, I'd lose track of what you guys were talking about, because I'd be saying it in my head, I go after. No, there's an R, like an after, like it fucks with me.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
now you know.
It's fucked with me for a long time, but I still hate him.
Yeah, you have to sit.
Wait, do you reckon if you cover up his like mouth and a bit of his nose and the top of his head, he's got like the wandering eyes like Jonah Hill?
Bro,
has someone said that before?
Fucking times I've had that.
Well, it's a thing now, isn't it?
I've had that at least 3 or 4 times. People have said I look like Jonah Hill.
He's got those calm but unsure wandering eyes of Jonah Hill. Like I'm not sure.
I'm not ever sure.
It's nothing really. Like,
yeah, that's so weird, man. I've had that probably too many times to, like, before when I first heard it, I was like, nah, that's fucking bullshit.
I need someone good with like Photoshop or something or whatever, just to kind of get a picture of Jonah Hill and get a picture of you and like
merge,
switch, like take the eyes out and switch them across and see if you look the same.
It's like that picture of Ross from Friends where they replace his face with Nicolas Cage and it just looks more like Ross from Friends.
Yeah,
somehow.
What the fuck? That's so weird, man. That's so weird. I saw that and I was like, that's fucking. It's too creepy.
Yeah.
Do you think Nicolas Cage is the original meme face? You know that black and white one of the guy that's like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one of Nicolas Cage going?
No.
Yeah.
It's got to be him.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you reckon? Do you rate Nicolas Cage?
I feel like he's one of those. He's part of a collective of like actors that play themselves.
Yeah.
So like South Park touched base on it with Rob Schneider. They're like, Rob Schneider is Rob Schneider. And he's like,
is a stapler.
He's the stapler, you know? But like Keanu Reeves plays Keanu Reeves. You know, quiet, withdrawn, like dumbfounded, kind of like he's brought in like that from like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, kind of like, what? Like,
yeah. It's Dwayne the Rock Johnson plays Dwayne the Rock Johnson in
Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like... There's actors that just play themselves.
I think that's definitely what separates like the good from the mediocre. Like all of those actors that you've named, I wouldn't rate, but then someone like, I don't know, like Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, can play numerous different actors.
I can't believe that
characters.
after all this time, he got an Oscar, was it, for
The
Revenant? Out of all the movies, like, have you seen Shutter Island?
Yeah.
That movie, like, right until the end, when you get the twist, you're like, oh, shit!
Yeah.
Oh, it was the butler! Like, you know, like, shit like that, you know, like... That was a fucking good movie, you know? Like,
just from jump, like even Catch Me If You Can. Wasn't that like one of his first movies?
Yeah, and Tom Hanks, I think, was the one that got the thing. I don't know, but it's like...
Tom Hanks playing Tom Hanks.
But anything, he can turn it on. Like, you need him to cry, he can cry. Like, and like, you know, you've obviously heard about like Django, where he smashes the glass on the table. Have you heard about that?
Actually cuts himself.
He wasn't meant to smash the glass, and it smashes, and it cuts his hand, and he keeps doing his lines and picks the glass out of his hands.
Oh, really?
And at one point he grabs that bird's face and like rubs blood all over. She's screaming, like and apparently it was all real. Like,
holy shit.
Yeah, like, and how he didn't get a fucking anything for that? Like, he played that mint. Like,
even like Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
one of the best movies I've ever seen, and that
you would know you were in it.
Yeah.
Get the loods.
Best supporting actor. Best supporting actor goes to me.
Best supporting actor is Soft Unsure Eyes.
But yeah,
for best Soft Unsure Eyes.
Yeah, I feel like he should have definitely won for that. And like Revenant is a good movie, don't get me wrong, but I mean,
it's not
in the grand scheme of things.
It's a movie that could have been done in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like it was this long, drawn out, and I know they're trying to capture like the desolate land that he's in, and how long it takes to get to the local watering hole and shit, you know. But it's like, man, that shit was drawn the fuck.
It would have been better as a book,
sure, man.
Probably.
Doesn't he wrestle? He wrestles a bear, eh?
Yeah.
Tries to.
Oh, yeah, he gets fucked up.
Oh, that's right, he fucking stabs it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does, but he gets like his whole arm like fucking ripped.
And the guy's like, you will be called Bear Claw. That guy that saves him.
Yeah. Fuck, I've not watched that for a while.
Yeah.
It's because it takes a while to watch.
Yeah, it does. You you definitely have to spare fucking 3 hours to watch.
It's one of those movies where it's like you're sort of just watching it for his performance.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing.
Well, that's the thing, because I hadn't seen it, and like then he won the award, and then I watched it. So the whole time I was just...
What's all the deal about? I'm one of those people.
Yeah, real skeptical about like, what was so good about it.
It's the same with like Games of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Vikings. Everyone raves about it, and it turns me off of it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I go, is there anything left? You know? It's like when there's like a platter or some at a party and someone brings a platter out and everyone flocks it and oh yeah, you know, I'm the kind of guy that hangs back and go, well, is there anything left?
Yeah. I was the same with Game of Thrones. Like I didn't start watching that till fucking it was pretty much finished when I started. And even then I think I did like maybe 4 seasons and then just stopped. I was like, yes, it's fucking same shit every episode. Vikings, though, I can vouch for. Vikings is probably one of my
watched
favorites.
it. Well, my wife, she raves about it. Like she loves the Norsemen. She loves the fucking the long hair, the blue eyes. She loves that shit, you know, like and
the opposite from you.
I'm pretty much the exact opposite. You know, white European body. You know, like have 2 beers and I've got a gut. Like not brooding at all. You know.
Yeah.
But oh well, she's stuck with me now.
Breaking Bad, I've not even bothered with that shit.
I watched a few episodes, and you tell people like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you watched. You gotta watch it." And it's like, well, I haven't, so clearly I didn't have to watch it because I've survived.
Yeah. That's me with Game of Thrones. Everyone shitted on the last season, and then it's like, well, now probably never going to watch it because you spent all that time watching it saying it's the best thing ever, and at the end went, no, they fucked it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but then when you look at it too, sometimes when you let it go too long and then you go, oh, maybe I will watch it. How many seasons is there? And they're like, oh, they're 12 hours, and they're hour-long episodes, and you go, nah.
Yeah.
Because for me, I view seasons like a marriage. It's like you got to commit. Like you don't just watch halfway and go, oh, I'll catch that maybe next year or something like that. Like you got to commit.
6 months of your life, you'll never get
proper
back.
time, you know.
Definitely.
But talking on actors that act themselves, another one, but is like they got like some of them have got like intriguing little things. Like Brad Pitt plays Brad Pitt, you know. But in every single movie he eats. Have you not seen that?
What do you mean?
You should look it up. Brad Pitt eating compilation. It goes through through a compilation of all his movies, and he's chewing something and talking.
Is that on Pornhub?
I don't know nothing about that one.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've never,
He eats in every single movie.
I'm trying to think of what movies I've seen.
And is that like what's it called? Like a directorial choice?
It's part of his like character that he brings to the table. It's like, because it's something that's subtle that you don't notice, but it kind of it's added to the character that he's playing.
Yeah.
He goes in for the audition and just can't act, and then someone slips him a quarter pounder, and he just turns on this accent out of nowhere and stuns the room.
Yeah. All right, best movie with Brad Pitt in it. Go.
Fight Club. That was off the bat because I like Fight Club. There's probably another one. Yeah. Like a lot of people rave about Benjamin Button. Is that him?
I haven't seen it. That's where he ages in reverse.
Reverse.
I always think of that fucking battle line.
Justice, but yeah.
I do like Troy and
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds.
And
my scalps.
Yeah, that is a great movie.
And what else? There's another one.
Mine's Seven.
Seven is good.
Yeah,
I rave about that movie to the guys at work. I was like, watch it. And they're watching like, it's fucking good.
Yeah, such a good
movie. Have you seen that there's like a meme when before memes were memes, there's this African American dude eating, he's got a box of it's Brad Pitt, and he's like, what's in the fucking box?
Yeah.
And it cuts to the guy, he goes, Frosty's in a good damn. like he's eating he's got this big square cardboard box of Frosties, he's like, Frosty's in a good damn.
Yeah, like when did memes become memes?
Yeah, like I want to know what the first proper meme was.
Well, didn't Jordan Peterson, wasn't it? Or
who's that?
Someone like that who coined the term?
Who's Jordan Peterson?
Like one of those sort of cats. I don't know what he is. He tours and talks about things.
Oh, so he's not like a comedian or anything? He's just
no. He's been on Joe Rogan. He wrote that book about fucking getting your life in order, and basically said to get your life in order, you have to make your bed every morning. Just like a heaper. Yeah. I don't know anything about his philosophies or his beliefs, but I think he was the one who coined the term, and it like means something. I can't remember what it means. This is where we need a tech guy.
I know, it's so annoying that he's not here.
You know, like you always hear on the radio, it's like you hear about the sound guy or something, they always refer to him every now and then, and he presses the button and goes, oh, you know. Many of the guys are there, like Bernard.
Yeah.
Clarence.
Oh, fuck, that's what we need.
Parents have a real
but
nice
so I don't know who invented the first meme, but depending on the definition of the word...
Yeah, what it stands for.
Yeah, because I don't think it's just as simple as like a picture that takes the piss. My phone's over there, actually.
There you go. You're the tech guy today.
Oh.
Clarence.
Yeah, like fucking... yeah, your name's Clarence now.
I'll take that.
Yeah, because I like, it must have been 2000 and... Would have been at least 2012, eh? I can't really remember if anything was happening when I was still at school.
All I remember from 2012 is probably LimeWire.
Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And just Soldier Boy. Crank that. Do you know what he did? Do you know how he got like famous? Soldier Boy? With LimeWire, he would upload his song.
I heard something about this.
Yeah, he'd upload his song under like 50 Cent in the club or whatever, and then people would download it.
And that's how the beef, or there was some beef between them or something.
Crank that Soldier Boy.
People still do that now, where they'll post up a new Eminem song 2020, and then it's just some shitty little.
Even with the instrumentals, like online, they'll be like, you know, like fucking, they have like, oh yeah, like Kanye West cross X Temptation style
type
instrumental,
beats,
you know,
or
like
they call them.
So you type like in Kanye or like X, and it's like all these instrumentals come up and.
Do you listen to X?
Love X.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's dope.
A mate got me onto him ages ago, and the first song I heard of his was that Revenge, where it's kind of like an acoustic.
Yeah.
But it's fucking mint, yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I fuck with him. I was a bit like skeptical at first because the first track I heard of his was "Look at Me" or whatever. That hell fucking distorted shit, and like when that first came out, I was like, oh nah. And then someone showed me, like his acoustic fucking songs where he's like singing and shit, and I was like, fuck, this dude's actually, talented.
And it's a shame too, because like a lot of people go, oh, but he did this and he did that and everything, but man, that dude was on the mend hard. Like he was, everything he was talking about, and and his whole his whole trajectory was going in a positive like direction, and everything that he believed in and that he was reading about and stuff. Like you could tell he was trying to make a change, and it's just like one of those shit things. Like
we live in a world where like everyone sits behind a computer screen and pretends like 100%. No one's ever made a mistake. Yeah. And so you could I was telling someone this yesterday. I saw a post I made from 2015 the other day. Mad like transphobic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I almost shared it to make a point of like, this was 5 years ago, and even just 5 years, I've changed my, ideologies or whatever.
Yeah.
But, people pretend like no one's ever made a mistake before.
Well, it's like with like the same shit happened to like Kevin Hart, the most down to earth, funny, caring, loving, kind of open minded dude, and he said some shit like way back in his career.
Yeah.
That they pulled out when he was gonna like host the Oscars, I think it was, or something like that. Yeah. And he was just like, and that was his dream to host the Oscars, and he was like, fuck it, I won't do it.
And that's the thing is, back when it happened, no one had issue with it because no one was offended by it. You can't then 20 years later go, hey, this offends me. It's like, well, it's happened. It's
and people
done.
go, oh, you're just riding the wave, but it's the wave that you're riding isn't a fashion, like a fashionable kind of trend or anything like that. What it is it's a wave of awareness.
Yeah.
Is consciousness. It's looking past all the shit. Like there's this wicked documentary I watched on Netflix that my wife got me onto, which was called The Mask You Live In. And I tell you what, sometimes shit is so obvious that you laugh, like when you see it, because you go, that is so obvious, it makes so much sense, but no one ever actually just says it to you. And like you watch this documentary, I challenge anyone to watch it, like any bloke to watch it, even if you're going to be a father of a boy or something like that. But like you watch it and it shows you just all the influences we have growing up, and all the little words and terminologies that we hear and stuff that shape us for who we are and give us the incorrect coping mechanisms and lead us astray and shit like that. Like, like we grew up in a time where either our fathers weren't present or they were terrible influences, and or you didn't have one at all.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good watch.
Yeah.
On the real tip.
We are in a hard, like, sort of our generations, it's hard because, like you say, like our parents grew up in a time where, like same-sex marriage and all that, or like same-sex relationships was like the no-go whatsoever. And then that generation's kind of came to terms with it, and now it's passed on to us, and we've gone, well, no, it's fine. Like, we don't care about it. It's all good. But there's still like a lot of people in our generation that are carrying these traits, and that's like the whole cancel culture thing. It's like just one extreme to the other. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
And a lot of it's that fucking virtue signaling shit where people just want to let other people know that they fucking, like sticking up for a cause, not for a genuine reason, but to show everyone else, hey, I care about it too. And it's like, well,
there's definitely different ways to go about stuff, and like it's like I get torn between the whole like, for example, someone will go see someone homeless and they'll be like, oh, we just want to give you this money and we want to give you this food and stuff, and they're filming it for their thing, and it's like, And it's kind of like you get in two minds about it because you're like, well, first of all, if you really wanted to help the dude, just do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just fucking help him. It doesn't have to be. But at the same time, and like everyone will go like, oh, you're just doing that for clout. You're just doing it for that. And it's like, yeah, they probably are, but it's at the same time even on a subliminal level. If it is, it makes people think about it.
Yeah.
Next time they see someone homeless, they go, you know what? I want to do something nice. And maybe not everyone will film it, and they won't, they'll be like, well, I don't need to film it, I just want to do something nice, you know, like, and something I've been working on is doing good deeds and not telling anyone about it, like, and like I won't mention any now, like, because it's just so many, like I just can't think of any right now, like, but
I'm basically an angel.
No, but like, I had this talk with Bitter as well, because like, and I gave him an example of something. I said this feels cringy because I'm telling, we're talking about it, and I was like, but I'm going to give you an example of something I did that I didn't tell anyone about. I said, but I'm telling you. He goes, no, it's fine because we're talking like about the whole
in the context,
But it's like, because I get real funny in my head about shit like that. Like I'm really indecisive, like having like bipolar, and like, and I'm always anxious and shit, and I'm always worried and paranoid about like shit like that. So I'm trying to tell him about, like, oh, it's stupid how people keep filming stuff and everything like that. You should just do it. Like, I did this, but and then I'm like, oh no, I didn't do it because of that. Like, I'm not trying to tell you about it now, like for my ego. Like,
it's like nowadays, sometimes doing a good thing, you have to think about all the other implications. You could do a good thing and then just get chewed apart for doing it. There's so many.
Yeah, and some people don't want help.
Yeah.
Some people get offended, like. It's
a big thing with like the whole movement at the moment, and like there's a lot of people that are of two minds, where it's like some people are like, yeah, get out there, do this, say this, promote this, and then there's another side of people going, oh, just because you did this, don't think that lets you off the hook. And it's like, yeah, there's obviously...
Yeah, you're always going to get people that... Like, it's the same with anything. Like, you look at religion, you've got religious people, and in those religions you've got extremists. Yeah. So it's the same thing. You have people that are trying to help and give a voice and go, look, like, I'm a white person, and I'm standing up for, because it's like, people will see someone black at a protest about black people and go, it's because you're black. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when you got someone that's like no, like you're becoming an advocate for your own race of going, this is what we should be focusing on, and we should be, because it's easy. I was talking about this other day about how people go, white privilege. I never had I never had help growing up. I never had this and that. But it's like, but it's not about that. It's about
It's not about you having white privilege. It's about the fact that Indigenous people don't have white privilege.
It's like, like you're not the minority, and it's like I shared a video of this girl having an argument with her parents. Her parents were like,
I think I saw that. The
parents
American
like, oh, just shut up, just shut up, And she's like, no, I won't shut up, and she's full on just like standing her ground, like this teenage girl just going against her parents. And it's hard. Like in America, you have a lot of parents, like they're all patriotic, and it's like, and the kids look up to their parents, and they listen to their parents because it's patriotic, it's the thing you do.
Yeah.
But to stand up against them like she was, and just hitting them with facts, like they're like, oh, but the statistics, and she's like, tell me the statistics.
Yeah.
They tell her, and they're like, 400 white people died from police, and only, 280 or 300 black people, and she goes, yeah, but look at the population, the percentage.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a massive percentage, like.
And that's another thing a lot of people don't do, is like contextualize the statistics that they're getting. A lot of people look at it and go, well, here's one number, here's another, and they don't factor in all the other shit.
Yeah, that's right. And so like people will be like, oh, you have extremists in their protest will be like no, you don't. Just because you're just doing this because you're riding a wave or whatever or anything like that. But it's like you can't. It's like you can't judge the whole race based on those people. It's the same with like religion. Like everyone's like Muslims. Fuck Muslims. They should get out of the country and this and that. Don't chop that up and make it sound. No, like they But it's like you get extremists in every religion.
Yeah.
The Catholics, you got pedophiles definitely. And stuff. And in Christianity, you got cult Christians. My parents were like that. Like they they had like this thing called a cat paw, and if you said I don't know or I don't remember, what's the reminder? Pow! Like it was fucked, man. Like and like just like they just read shit differently. Yeah. They read stuff and they take what they want and they think about it their own way. Where I've met so many Muslim people that are just peaceful, happy people, like, and that you be mates with, and you could be mates with a Muslim person and not know that they're Muslim, and they find out later, what are you going to do? You go like, oh, well, I can't be friends with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not about that, you know. Every religion and every race has their extremists, you know. Like, not all white people are Nazis, but you've got, you know, you got KKK and white supremacy and stuff, and like the Aryan Brotherhood and stuff, you know. And I feel like those guys are all just lost. They're just looking to be a part of something. They come from shitty backgrounds and stuff. It's the same with our street culture. A lot of kids, you know, like, they get in their group and, like, some dude will look at their missus and be like, oh, that guy said something to my missus, said she was, like, you know, called her beautiful or something like that. You know, let's go get him. You know, you're not a dog, are you? You got my back, hey? And because they're worried about that tight-knit circle that they're in, like, they might not have a good family, and that's their family, you know? Yeah. And so kids get pressured into this shit, like... And it's like young kids that are lost. They get soaked up by these like things like Aryan Brotherhood and all that kind of shit. They're like, oh, we'll be your family. We'll look after you. We've got your back. And it's the same with like gang mentality.
Yeah. It's like cults and shit as well. Like they not feast, but you know they fucking.
Oh, they do. They feed on people who are insecure.
They've got nothing. Yeah, basically got nothing.
Same
and
with like
we'll give you all
Epstein
these things.
And fucking what's his name? R. Kelly. They it's like these dudes have like a nose for insecure, vulnerable people because themselves grew up insecure and vulnerable.
Have you watched the Epstein doco?
Just finished it the other night. Yeah.
I think I might have one episode left.
Yeah, there's like 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's just fucking...
It's crazy.
Insane.
He was almost near on running his own ring where he'd send one girl off to bring back girls and then he'd tell those girls and just give them money. Like,
how's the plea deal that he got? Like, as they were taking him... as they were going to take him to court, they got there and he'd already fucking made a plea deal and got everyone... immunised and shit.
When did he get busted like years and years ago, and then when they were going to charge him, they came in and told like the prosecutors.
Yeah, that's it. So the Palm, I think it was the Palm Beach Police Department.
Were all over him.
Yeah, they were like all fucking. They knew everything that was going on. They'd brought in girls and they had fucking. Not confessions. What are they called? Like statements and shit. Yeah, and when they finally were like, all right, let's take him to court, they got word from someone that he was already at the fucking courthouse and he'd gone in there with his lawyers and made a plea agreement.
Oh, but he was catching up with that Alan Acosta, whatever, 18 months it was. That he got
18 months, yeah.
Yeah, and he was allowed, he only had to stay there at night. He was allowed day to go out during the day and shit like that.
But he got everyone... All of his co-conspirators, named and unnamed, were all given immunization, immunity. So,
and they all would have been the names of like high-profile fucking.
No, I think a lot of them were like just the girls that he had that were going out getting.
Yeah, because some girls didn't want to give statements. Some of the girls were like, you know, like you get manipulated. You know, like same with some of the R. Kelly girls are like, no, I don't want to say anything, and I'm staying here.
Stockholm syndrome or something.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And that's probably how he got the tip off. You know how they got to his house, they got the warrant, they went through, and his computers were stripped, everything was gone. Yeah, but the photos were still up and everything like that. But
they went because they went to his house and nothing was there. Right? Fucking but even I was going to say about that. The 18... Oh, that's right, because he reckons that he's like adamant that he could have got a better deal.
Yeah, he's like, I got a harsh deal, he reckons.
Yeah, got it harsh, because he says that like in New York, I think it was, the fine for like soliciting a minor for prostitution or whatever it was for...
It was a fucking joke.
Yeah, it was like $100 fine, and he's like, I've served 18 months for something that I could just get a slap on the wrist for.
And he broke his bail conditions so many times. Like he got out, he was only allowed to go to the office and stuff, and he was like going to like hotels, and people all knew about it. Like, and like when it comes to his death, and everyone's like, you know, he didn't kill himself, and it's like, in a federal like lockup like that, where it's like you got guards, the cameras weren't working and all this shit, and everyone goes, oh, but yeah, like how would they get him killed in a federal, all this kind of stuff, like, he clearly did it himself. He ripped up the bread sheets and he choked himself. But it's like when you look at the shit that he pulled with the money and power that he had, and the people he hang around, there's no like denying the fact that any of those other powerful people he hang around with could easily have just set it up.
Either had
pay the guards
or
off,
he's faked his own death and just fucked off somewhere. That is another extreme.
Yeah, I think. Mental. Yeah, I mean,
and the coroner report that came out was like, he died of strangulation. But then his Epstein's brother got a private, one of the best coroners examiners for I think it's the biopsies or whatever. He paid him to go over everything, and he found out that he had a fractured trachea, I think it's called, or something like that. Or I can't remember what it's called. It's like the bone in here, and you can't break that from like. He goes, breaking that from strangulation. He goes, it'd be almost impossible. He goes, like something else had happened.
Because I heard same thing but opposite. It was that was the proof that he didn't.
I've probably got an episode ahead for you. I'm probably talking about shit you haven't seen.
But there was like the reasoning why he hadn't hung himself was because there was a bone in his neck that hadn't been broken.
No, it'd been fractured in 3 places. At three, it's like a bone that's like right up under here.
Yeah.
And like I know about it, the one that he's talking about, because Trey, when he was born, his was undeveloped.
Yeah.
And so it caused him like so he was, when he'd sleep as a baby, it was like like it sounded like some old witch in your room, like. But it was good because I didn't have to get up and check if he was breathing at night. You know, like,
true.
But it fucked with his hearing as well, so his speech was like all funny. But yeah, like, that's the only reason I know about that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Do you hear about I don't know why we're talking about pedophiles and shit, but did you hear about the pedophile ring in New South Wales that they busted yesterday?
No.
There was, I want to say 4 people. I could be wrong, but I'll go with 4. And the age was from like, I think it was 20 to 25 or 20 to 26 or something around that. And they'd been videoing, like filming shit and putting it on the dark web for I don't know how long. But yeah, 14, it makes me sick. 14 kids. One of them was the youngest of 4.
That is fucked.
No shit, hey.
There's something about it as well that's almost more fucked that it was like younger. I think they've been doing it and not.
Yeah. Well, that's how I felt.
I was
like,
why
the fuck are these
fucked?
Apparently, you've been going for a while, and I think the youngest of them, who was now 20 or whatever, was like 15 or 16 when it first started, and one of them was a childcare worker as well. But apparently, they've said that there's no links between him being a childcare worker and
the people.
But it's
it shouldn't matter.
Fuck.
There is a link.
There's
him being a pedophile.
Yeah, exactly.
He likes kids.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, what the
But like, not to rain on people's parades, like I know like that a lot of people, porn is such a huge thing, like, in the world. And like, I talk about this a lot. Like I was talking to my miss about it the other night. I said to her, like, because like, I've watched porn like probably twice in like 2 years or something like that. And I mean, I watched
it twice this morning.
Well, I like in that documentary I was telling you about the mask that you live in. It shows you about like growing up and all the shit we're exposed to and everything like that. And like porn plays this massive part in males' lives. Yeah. Like from everything from like how sex should be, what women what they think women like and expect, and also the chemical reaction it has in your brain on what gets you off. For example, they did this study on a lot of rapists that there was a big, I don't know the numbers, but there was a big portion of guys that were watching rape porn that eventually ended up committing a rape.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like, like barely 18 porn and stuff like that dudes are watching, and the chicks look super young and stuff, and they start to get this kind of fantasy, and it gets into your mind, and to the point where you might be with a woman, nothing wrong with her, everything like that, and you can't get it up or you can't get off, but you find that when you watch that porn, it is, and then you start, becomes your fantasy, and you start to go that way. So, like it plays a big part, like in the world, all the shit, like even like kid. Like I remember I think the first porn I saw, I think I was in year 4, and my parents had a cassette that had Hansel and Gretel on it. And I got up in the middle of the night, and I didn't want to wake anyone up, and I found this. They must have watched it before bed or something, and I put it in, and that was the first porn I seen, you know. Like, and I didn't know what the fuck I was watching, and that shit stuck with me, you know what I mean? Like, and it was always at the back of my mind, you know, like. So I was doing shit like early, you know, like. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, young kids are exposed to this stuff, magazines. They find their parents' stuff. It's all over the web, you know. Well, like
nowadays, like, think of, I don't know how old you are, but. You know that
nobody does.
When you first get a porn magazine when you're a teenager, you know,
it's the best shit in the world.
That was like a whole experience, and it was a mission. And nowadays, it's like kids have iPads when they're fucking 5 years old, and that shit, you know.
Yeah, I remember like the first time. It definitely does hold a massive impact on your expectations of like what you said,
100% does.
Sex should be. What, you know, how you should be fucking performing, blah blah blah. None of it at all is instructional as like a health aspect.
Yeah, there's
you know
what
I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And no teenage boys going, you know, like, how should sex be? Or they're typing in like big dick and pussy, like, you know what I mean? Like,
not on Pornhub and typing in safe sex. Fucking,
safe, you know, safe, loving, romantic sex. Like, you know, how do I make love to my partner, you know? Yeah.
But I remember, I probably would have been around the same age. I think I was maybe year 7 or some shit. So what, like 13, 14? I remember just being with a bunch of our friends on there, like on his computer at his house. All just fucking huddled around this computer like, oh, you know, like, let's do it.
Wanking each other off.
But yeah,
like why are you blushing?
Yeah.
That's a nervous laugh.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nervous laugh. But yeah, like, just looking at it for the first time, and it's like, what the fuck? And same thing. I've always remembered that as just like a very, like, pivotal moment. Like, from that point onwards, you just think completely differently. Like, you look at...
You do. You walk down, like... So, like, air out my dirty laundry, like I used to watch porn quite a lot, and then when I met my wife, Medusa, she I never really watched it or anything like that, and we discussed it before, and it's like... But it had a negative impact, because, like, it's like, I ended up... Like, I did wrong by her, and I ended up talking to... Like, you know, just like any other couple, you go through problems, and I ended up talking to other girls about my problems, you know, like, and shit like that, and I just feel like it was not a good, like, at the time I didn't think about it, but I think about it a lot, and I think that it's unhealthy, like if you're watching porn with your partner, like, it's probably not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know, like, and I'm not religious by any sense, but I think it's a good thing to go by. Like, after all the research I've done, especially like with that documentary I was telling you about the mask you live in and stuff, it's just better to not need it. Like, whenever I think about shit like that, or like, you know, whenever I am up at work or something like that and I want to have a fucking bat, you know what I mean? You know, people might say it sounds gay, but it's like, I think of my wife, you know, and it strengthens my sexual bond with her. And now that's where all my energy is, like, focused on. And I love being around my wife, you know, like, and I think it's just, there's nothing negative that can come out of not watching porn for me.
Yeah.
Only positive change. And not to say people that watch porn is wrong or whatever. Everyone's different, but that's just the way it works for me. I think that it's better that way. And, you know, like, I don't get those thoughts about other women. Like, it's just one of those things that it's like thought-provoking when you watch it.
Yeah, we spoke about it. I can't remember who we spoke about it with. We mentioned it's like, it is an issue for a lot of people. Like,
it becomes the end game for guys. So when guys are watching porn, it's all about coming.
It's
all about getting to that end point, and then you go have sex with your partner or with some girl, and you're just smashing it. You're trying to be a porn star, and you're nut. Because you're not. It's not a transfer of energy as such, which is what it is. You know, like if you've got a partner and you're in love with them, it is. It's just like a transfer of energy. Like and that's when you know that you're on the same kind of like level with your partner, is when you do end up coming together or something like that is that it is like that bonding that is what it is, you know, like because it's so twisted and warped by the porn industry, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like just there's a lot of shit like that influencers out there nowadays that are sort of, I don't think it's intentional, but put in place to like cloud your judgment about things. Like you said, there's nothing to lose from going without it. Yeah,
and it's like it changed. Like we're talking about expectations as well. Like guys think that girls love being cum in the face, and like you get girls that will be like, oh no, I like it, but it's like, do you? How much porn have you watched? And you think that you think, oh, like that's satisfying to me, like and that I should like it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like you know what face that girls make when they get cum on in the face?
It's not a good one.
Yeah, I know. It's like, so how do you say it? Like when they're copping it sweet, like like they make the I'm running in the rain face. Yeah. And you see a girl running in the rain and they don't like it. Nah. Girls running in the rain, like, oh my god, my mascara's gonna run, my fucking foundation is gonna be all blotchy. Like
that's the best analogy I've heard.
They're like, oh my god, it's like, but then once you think that, when you see a girl running in the rain, you're like, is she making the I'm running in the rain face or I'm copping it sweet?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like not to be old-fashioned or anything like that, but I guess the older you get, the wiser you get. The kind of like, it's like it. I mean, hey, some people might genuinely like it. I'm sure there is. I mean, but the porn industry has a lot to do with that. Like the whole like, where did that even come from? Like, who was the first guy? Yeah, mate.
Someone's calling.
Who was it? What does it say?
Nothing. Oh no, it's gone.
Okay. You're not listening to us, eh?
I mean, if at some point you just want to have a fucking 5-minute break or something.
I was going to say we can do, yeah.
Punch a dart.
But what was I about to say something? But yeah, like who was the first guy that come in a girl's face, and what was her reaction? Like, what the fuck? Like did she go, you know what? Put some of that baby juice on my face. Let's just give it a go. Like, oh my god, I really love that. I love it. You know what I mean? Like.
That's going to be the snippet.
It was definitely some sort of warped idea, and they've pumped it in the industry and going, okay, they've given the money, like, okay, we're going to need you to take it in the face, you know, and it becomes a fashion. Just like anything else that's ridiculous, it becomes a fashion.
I think about it like with anal sometimes, and just how that came about, and someone went, what about this other hole? And
you know what? And I kind of understand that, because it's kind of like, it's something you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's the same with the girl. The girl would get that feeling. It's kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. But that's the kind of like sex in public thing. It's like, oh, this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this. Is naughty. But afterwards, you kind of go, oh, you collect yourself and you go, I'm a civilized human being. I don't need it. I don't. Who am I? I don't fuck people in the arse.
It's like when you nut after watching some filth, and then you look back at the screen and go,
oh,
yeah.
Oh dear. You know, like,
fuck that.
I'm a bad man. Like,
yeah.
But it's just like that. You know, like. It's definitely got its influences on the world and the youth growing up and stuff like that. But
it's so
I'm
weird.
on my own journey of like finding myself. Like,
it's so weird how easily accessible it is now. Like, was it that accessible when we were kids, or do we just not know of like websites?
No.
I remember
I feel like it used
steakandcheese.com, I think it was like a German steak and cheese, I think it's called, or rotten.com.
Oh yeah,
it's all shit like that. But this is when the net was like,
yeah. But it's I don't know. It's weird. It's like it once was you had to have an account and be 18 plus to access it. Now they get as much streamers as they can, because all they do is they put that button, are you 18 years or over, and kids just go. Yes. Yeah. It's like a bottle. It's like some 10-year-old going to the counter with a carton, and the guy goes, "Are you 18?" And the kid goes, "Yeah." And he goes, well, "Why didn't you say so?" Here you go. No shit, eh?
Because he wants the money. Like,
yeah. Fuck. I wonder how much money they make.
Well, I 100% believe that not being prejudiced or racist or anything like that, but I 100% think that the porn industry started with Jews. Because how many uncircumcised cocks do you see in porn?
They're all fucking, pretty much all of them. Yeah.
Have you guys had this talk?
No.
With anyone?
What? Uncircumcised dicks?
Circumcised or uncircumcised?
I think we have with someone.
I think you might have. I think I might have covered it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And I think because I listen to the podcasts in the digger, that you guys do, and usually I've got so much to say. You guys get on something, and I'm like, and I want to call. Like, is there a hotline? Like,
and
is
then
that
you remember it's not live.
Yeah. We got Clint here from Marindu. Yeah, how you going, Clint? Yeah. I just totally disagree with that. And
yeah.
Okay, so I was circumcised at birth, right? And me and Shell have always had this beef about it. Like, it's always been back and forth, and I'm like, man, your dick must look like some rotten fucking spring roll, and he'd be like, oh, you must be so dirty and infectious, and all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
It went on for ages. There was big Facebook posts that went on for ages about what women prefer, and women oh yeah, I prefer a circumcised cock, it's neater and all this kind of stuff, and some saying it doesn't matter, or it's easy to jack off a guy that isn't circumcised, and all this shit. But at the end of the day, I didn't circumcise both my boys.
Yeah.
Because it should be their decision.
Yeah,
and
true.
I don't think it's something that needs to be done, and it's that way for a reason. If we were not meant to have that extra skin, then we would have evolved that way.
Yeah.
In saying that though, like, I got mine done when I was like fucking.
Oh, some people have to get it
7 or 8 or something. It's because dick was too big.
No, what it is that your
wasn't.
parents didn't teach you to pull it back when you had a piss, because it's all part of the process of it growing. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't know what
I have
the
to teach my
reason
boys.
was.
I'm like, make sure you pull it back when you have a piss, because otherwise you're gonna have problems when you're older.
But it was unrelated to religious reasons or anything. And I sort of like growing up as a teenager and shit, I just thought that was a thing.
It was normal.
Like, once I got to the point of watching porn, it was like, everyone hits adulthood and has to get circumcised.
Yeah,
that's
it's weird.
just the thing.
Like, I don't think I've ever known. You're the only person I know with a circumcised dick. Now there's
But I
two
think,
against
like,
one.
A lot of people don't like to talk about it, because or they'll just go, oh no, I'm not circumcised.
Yeah.
Because it's like some people are ashamed about it or not, but it's like, it's no big fucking deal.
I've always looked at it, maybe just because of a fucking bias, but I've always looked at it as like it was the cleaner, more efficient way to prepare it.
Having all the time to think about and the debates that I've been in about it, I can 100% say the only reason a circumcised man will stick up for a circumcised penis is because he has a circuscised penis.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you weren't, it's not like you're going, no, I could definitely see the benefits of having a circumcision. I definitely want to have the end of my cock chopped off.
Yeah.
Like a guy from work just had to get it done because he keeps splitting his foreskin. He was saying, so he had to get it done because, once again, growing up, he was never taught to pull his skin back when he pissed. So it just doesn't grow. It doesn't get its elasticity and all that kind of. It doesn't, because your body's like anything. Like, if you grow up real active and stuff like that, your muscles develop that way. That okay, this is what we need in life, and that your body craves certain foods, carbs, and shit like that, and. Whereas if you don't, you just grow up real slim and shit. It's all about, like, your genetics play a part, but they're not the be and end all. And it's the same with that. If your body's not used to that, it doesn't compensate.
Yeah.
Growing up. Smoke break.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. We're gonna have a break. We'll be back. Yo, we're back. So fucking games, PlayStation Store. So yesterday, I bought Sims 4 and Star Wars Lego.
Oh, you actually bought Sims?
Yeah, well so I've never played Sims. Always kind of been against Sims. Like, I just never saw the point. It came up and it was like $13, and again, my missus was like, "Oh yeah, you should download it," because I think she might have played it when she was younger.
Yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of people.
Yeah. Females played it when they were young.
My missus loves it. Like,
I loaded it up, and I'm playing it, and I think I maybe did like 4 days or whatever the fuck it was, and it was just boring. I was like, what am I supposed to be like? When does this game get fun? There's no like, well, I don't know if there isn't, but from my understanding, there's no like mini games. There's no activities that you actually have to do. It's like you just click on a button and say go to work, and they fuck off.
I resent games like this, and the reason why is that, man, I got my own shit. I don't need to worry about you fucking being late to work or being upset because your fake dog did a fake poo in the fake house. Yeah. And it's the same shit with like World of Warcraft. Like, games that never end, they just keep expanding it and keep expanding these worlds, and it's like you literally sacrifice your own life and spend days, weeks, and months, and this like years, like this gameplay that you put into this fake life. It's like whilst your life just dwindles away.
Not only that, but when do you ever win? Like, you never clock the campaign or reach the end game.
Yeah.
So there's no like objective. You're just constantly going.
Yeah.
It's made to just keep you playing.
Yeah.
And it's like the only time those people stop playing. It's like the Truman Show, like where no, it's not the Truman Show. It's fucking. Well, it's kind of like that, but like Cable Guys, where it's like someone's got to kill the babysitter, and he falls down and hits the satellite while the Sam Sweet trial is going on, and everyone's glued to the TV. And everyone goes, oh. Pick up a book, go outside, like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's exactly what it is. And it's these people just looking after these fake lives. Like,
my old housemate played Destiny. And I remember there was like a boss level or whatever it was. And he'd have to verse this boss. And it was like hours. Like, he'd be playing online and there'd be 20 of these people.
like a Dragon Ball Z episode.
All killing this guy. And his
constant.
Yeah, it was
like for a whole week you're watching Gohan make this fucking spirit bomb or whatever it is. He's just going and old mate's going and it's like all right, off to school, come back next day. And you're like, man, this shit, like,
It's so frustrating but also so good.
So good, but you just like. And then it happens, and it's just like, I haven't even reached my final form yet. And you go, why didn't he just go full form in the beginning and go, that's it.
Like months from between when Frieza killed Krillin for Goku to finally turn Super Saiyan.
It's like, weren't you just straight up pissed? Yeah. Like, weren't you just straight up angry and like?
But you had to build it up.
Yeah, no shit,
Like, why didn't you spend more time in the time chamber? Or whatever it was called. You know, he goes into the time chamber where it's like a one day is a year in there or something like that. It's like, what have you been doing all this time?
I don't think I'll play Sims. I gave it a shot.
Good back in the day when it was like, I remember we had that.
The only good thing about it is building a house.
Yeah, you build your house, you go, well, that's done.
But even then, it's like you're putting in all this time to like design your fucking
build the neighbour's house.
Yeah.
And then you get bored after 2
Man, I
weeks.
can't even afford to build my own fucking house.
You get bored after 2 weeks and put a fucking firework machine in the house and burn the fuck it out. Or put them in a pool and take away the stairs.
My daughter plays it and they go to... She doesn't understand. They go to bed.
Oh, fuck. Fucking dumbass.
They go to bed and she's like... What's woohoo? Like they're woohooing, like, and we're like,
Yeah, fucking.
I forgot that was even a thing.
Woohoo!
And the bed sheets are just bouncing around.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Love hearts. Like.
It was so weird as well. Like the chick, because it puts you in a house with a chick. So I assume that's just like how you complete the game. Like you build a relationship with a chick, have kids or whatever the fuck you do. But at one point, my dude had to go to sleep, and she's in my bed, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I've been here for like a day, and you just jumped in my bed, and like my character had to go in there and like wake her up, and she's like, oh, whoa, 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 in that like false language.
And then his pants just disappeared.
Yeah.
I'm worried about my daughter, because you know what she does is she'll like make a swimming pool. And then make them go for a swim, and then while they're swimming, she'll delete the handrail to get out.
Yeah.
And they get tired and drown.
That's what we used to do when we were younger. Just find new creative ways to kill them, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty out there.
Or she'll watch this, and she'll take the walls away from the toilet right next to the lounge room, and the guy watching the TV will be like, like that, and the guy will be like, and then there'll be like the smell of him, and his face gets all upset, and then the guy in the toilet's like, like just torturing these people, like putting them in like a Big Brother house of like. Speaking of that, I can't believe they're doing another Big Brother. It starts on Monday.
Yeah, it does.
Shit.
Hey.
And still, what's her name? She's come back to do it.
Gretel Colleen.
Is that her name? Who's she?
Are they going to wheel her out in a wheelchair or something? Like
they just keep putting new sheets of plastic over the top of her.
How old is she now? Yeah, they just like cling wrap, cling wrap her. Like
they just pinch the back of her head, pull it all back, and staple.
Like old mate from like many like better. Like, I'm sorry, Gretel, you're getting old.
More sugar,
water and sugar. But yeah, I can't believe they're doing another one. I don't know what they're going to do. Something about like someone gets evicted every night or something. Someone comes in.
How long has it been since they did one? It's got to be a while, eh?
Well, didn't it stop for a while after that bird got turkey slapped?
No, I remember that. I was going to bring that up. Yeah, she got turkey slapped.
And there was a big... That was like the beginning of the Me Too movement, basically.
Near on.
Wait, when was this
Harvey Weinstein was like, bro, what are you doing on national TV? You're fucking it for the rest of us. Hashtag Me Too. Oh, now look. Not to take the piss. You know, I'm all for that, women's rights, everything like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know...
What's the other one that's out? Because they've had that, The Circle, or whatever, it's on Netflix.
I feel like this conversation's for the almost cancelled.
Yeah.
I think it's The Circle.
The Circle was like Big Brother,
social media and...
You never see each other, so it's just social media communication.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was all right for like the first 2 episodes, but...
Because I know that they've made them like, like they've got like a French one, a Spanish one.
And some people pretend to be other people.
That reminds me of some movie that they did where it was like the whole movie was in front of a computer screen. Something about Unfriended or something like that. Or it was like some social media based movie and the whole movie was made and people raved about it. And it's like, it would have been cost nothing to make.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's heaps of movies out there that were made like that with no budget, that blew like budget out of the, like made a huge return.
Yeah.
Just
like for example, one
Blair
of them,
Witch
like,
Project is like that. That was like real.
Which one?
Blair Witch Project, the horror movie.
Yeah.
That was just like real budget.
Same with like, one of the big ones was El Mariachi, which was the one before, Desperado, and then you got Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, Antonio Banderas, that's where he first really took off, was that El Mariachi was made with like $1,000 US in Mexico, I think it was.
Holy shit.
And absolutely killed it. And like that have you seen that, I think it's called Buried Alive with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, when it's just him
in
the
box,
coffin,
in the coffin the whole time. And it's like, that movie, that keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're like, oh my God, the sand's coming. Oh, he's digging him up. Oh, he's at the wrong body. Like, you know, like, but it's like, it's all him in a box. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the one, is it 27 Hours with Ashton Kutcher? And he's like, it's like the true story about the dude who goes
thinking
hiking.
Of 127 Hours with James Franco.
James Franco.
Where he cuts his arm off.
What did I say? 27
James
Hours
Franco,
with Ashton
man.
Kutcher.
He's a great actor.
Oh, fucking oath.
Like
James
Pineapple
Franco.
Express, like,
Yeah, man.
or like the Dick. What's the other one? Is it the Dictatorship?
Dictator or where they go to Korea?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
The interview. That's
the
what it's
interview.
called.
Yeah, the interview.
He's my go-to when it comes to the GIFs sometimes or GIFs.
Yeah.
But like that
No
one
one
where
knows what
Eminem goes, I'm gay. He goes, wait, what? Like he's just such a character. Like he's the looks that he does and everything.
Have you seen
that's
True
fucking-
Story? It's me and James
it's you
Franco.
and James Franco. Yeah. Nah,
That's a great movie.
I watched it once. I was maggot on shift change, I think, in my bed just watching it, and I fell asleep. But I've been meaning to watch it again. Like it's a true story.
Yeah.
Like
That's hell good.
like that War Dogs. That's fucking mint as well.
Yeah.
Like, true story.
Jonah Hill and that fucking...
It's TJ Miller. Is it TJ Miller?
No, I know the dude.
He's one dude I hell like though. That guy from that, and he's in
21 and Over or something.
Yeah, he's in a few movies. I think it is TJ Miller, and he's in that Whiplash. Have you seen that Whiplash? It's about the drummer.
I don't think so.
That's like if you're into music and all that sort of shit, that's like probably one of the
Fuck
best.
with music much.
Yeah. But it's about a drummer goes to like he's in like the most prestigious jazz university or some shit like in America, and it's just about his like composer who like you probably would. I remember there was a video that was like going around on Facebook.
Is he like? You mean like the drummer, like the?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have seen it. Yeah.
And he's like, hands are bleeding and all that sort of shit. It's fucking insane, man. A very good movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have seen that one.
Have you seen? I don't know why we're talking about movies so much. We should change the podcast. But have you seen
movie reviews?
What's it called? The Stanford Prison Experiment. I think it's Stanford Prison Experiment. True story again, and it's about a professor wants to. It was like an experiment that he put out to see if being a police officer compared to a prisoner like changes the way people act, as in like authority.
When they're
power.
given responsibility and shit. Yeah.
And
so you see that on a small level, like in the mines at work and shit like that. People change and everything like when they're given responsibility. Sorry, but you keep going. Yeah.
But yeah, so they took, I think it was in the 80s, but they took like 20 people or like 15 people, and they interviewed them all, asked them which one they'd rather be. Would you rather be a police officer? Would you rather be a prisoner? And then they basically just went, all right, these 4 or these 5 are the prison guards. This dude's going to be acting warden or whatever the fuck it was. And it's insane, man. And it's a true story. And it got to the point where this guy, the professor, was power tripping that much about this whole experiment that he was like, that invested into it, that these people were like brainwashed into thinking that they were prisoners. And they were in there for, I think it was a week. And it got like, there's a scene in there where there's this like real religious guy, and he's never cussed, never swore anything in his life. And one of the prison guards, who's just another teenager, is power tripping that much that he like eventually breaks this guy to the point where he swears. And like you just see like this dude just like crumble, like just, And true story.
Where can you watch it? Like,
it was on Netflix, but I think it might not be on Netflix anymore.
I'll have to look it up.
But it's like a B grade movie, but it's it's so.
I love true story stuff.
Good.
It's like Jonah Lucas, like that Ross.
The dude
I can never pronounce it.
Cappuccino, whatever.
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino, I think it is. Cappuccino.
Yeah.
But like that's crazy, and the way that he delivers the story, and then you watch the actual interview with the dude, and it's crazy, man. Like,
because didn't he get like permission from the dude to write the whole story and shit as well?
I don't remember, but I just remember watching it and going, man, this is some real shit. Like, this is really good and real well done.
Well, that was like pretty much what blew him up, like that song and the video and everything.
Oh, and the other ones he's done, like where he does this raps the songs backwards. That's crazy, man.
I think that's one thing that stood Joyner Lucas out from the rest. Basically, it was like not only were his songs and his lyrics and content and shit,
I wouldn't be surprised
so on
if
point
it was
and well put together, but his video.
The time, because that's the thing. A lot of people could put out really good music videos if they just took time. But the thing is, like, I don't have the budget. I don't know this. But Hobson, I remember the few times that he's come here, I've had real long talks with him about shit like that, and he goes, "Man, you can do anything." Like all his music videos, he does himself, and he even down to the point where he thinks about the color schemes in the music video and all this kind of shit. Like, really well done. And like when you watch his music videos now, like you have a better understanding and stuff, and how much effort he puts in, because he's got no budget or anything like that. He just does it himself, like to save the money. Like,
I suppose like there's a lot of, probably more so in American hip hop, where sort of Joyner fits into it. But at that time, all the videos you see going around on Instagram and Facebook are sort of just generic rapper videos,
and they spend money, man, on music videos. Like the budgets are blown the fuck out. Like you can, I mean, like. Yeah, like you can make a good music video without that. I mean, imagine if you had $1 million to spend on a music video.
Oh, no way.
That is ridiculous. No wonder why you see some crazy music videos out there, horses riding around and circus in the background and shit. Because they're like, what do we do? What we just chuck some shit in there,
like what would you need $1 million for a music video?
I'll be getting tigers and meth and dressing up like Joe Exotic, spitting bars.
Yeah.
That is pretty gangster, that fucking Travis Scott and that Sicko Mode one where the beat drops in and he comes in on that fucking big black stallion. Yeah, and it's just like the horse is like even walking like with the beat, like that's gangster.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, you do see some videos that are just insane.
You're good?
Are you familiar with Cole Burnett? I think his name is. He's a video director or whatever it is for like music videos in America, and he does all like your trippy like Juice WRLD, Ski Master, Slump God, all that sort of shit. But he's like, his videos stand out from everyone else because he does like just weird like video effects and like
did he do the
draws like cartoon animations into it and shit, and like But he's probably up there, and he did the Eminem.
Like Godzilla or something?
Yeah, I think it was Godzilla. He did the Eminem. He did pretty much whatever Eminem's latest single was off of his latest
Godzilla,
album.
I think it
was Godzilla.
The well, because that would make sense because if he did Juice WRLD's clips, because that was a collab. Like fuck, I was gonna say something then. What were you talking about?
Who'd you get to do yours? Your videos?
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Like mostly recently, I was doing my own for a bit with like Shell. We went and bought a camera together and stuff, and I downloaded Adobe Pro and learned how to all use it and stuff. But I started working away a lot more, and I lost touch with it. I could still do it now. Like I edited it. A lot of the ones that we did, like me and Shell did the Monster track, and I edited the NWA one for Bitter and stuff. I did Cogs's Trash Talk clip and stuff. Yeah. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen.
And now a short word from our sponsor, V. Blue V.
Boy,
we do the V, so you don't have to.
Fuck, I do need to put sponsor in there for Moose. We've not done it. Shout out to Moose. If you want to get your tits pierced, go hit up Moose Body Piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout outs to fucking getting your tits pierced.
Yeah.
To be honest though, I'm not a big fan
of nipple piercings.
I don't see. I just don't.
Pointless.
I think it's like I don't know. Okay, I'm being selfish when I say that, I guess, because it's like some girls might like it and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't know or anything like that, but I just think when I think about a boob and it's like, and you're a dude, it's like you want to be able to grab it, suck it, or whatever, you know. But it's like I feel like that kind of stuff is impeding on when you're doing that.
Next minute you've ripped it out and it's...
Next minute, like the people that you're giving shout-outs to are like hitting me up and they're like, why are you trying to stop people from getting piercings?
Yeah.
It's discrimination like this.
Yeah.
How do you go with your video clips in terms of like your
planning it out?
Yeah, planning it out and what your vision for what you want.
I get the thing that this is like comes back to like budgets and stuff like that. Like when I think about all the things I want to do with my clips, I have this real like I've got a real like I don't know, like I really envision all these scenes and stuff and all this stuff I want to do, but it's like it seems like I've never have enough time or it's way above my means and everything like that. Like I wanted to do a clip. I could have done a clip for like Desperate Measures on my last one where it's just like this desperate kid, like he's got a young family and he goes to rob a bank. And he's in this chase on his motorbike, and he panics, sees cops and stuff like that, and ends up, you know, looking over his shoulder and shit. And a ute backs out with some sheet metal, and kind of thing. Like, and
that would be sick.
I could have done a clip for that and everything, but it's like, I don't know. Like, most of the time, I just have these ideas in my head, like with Hellfire. I don't know if you saw that one. Like, what are you looking for, mate? What's it? Yeah, like Hellfire. That was a last minute thing. I didn't want to release that because I wanted to use it for my next thing, but I was kind of in a bit of a hard place. I had to use it because another plan fell through, and just last minute I was like, "Can we use your backyard?" It's called Hellfire, but I want it to be raining. Like, and it had been raining, but it stopped, and I was like, "Fuck," you know. So we got shout out to Storm, Uncle Sam's missus. She stood there with a hose and made it look like actual rain. Like it looked really good, man.
That is commitment, man.
Shit, it looked good, and I tell you what, it was fucking cold. Like the first take I did, I was like struggling for breath. It was like, you know when you get in the cold.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was freezing. Like, and I was standing barefoot like out there, and Uncle Sam's like he brought out some rum, I think it was, or something. He's like, here, you need this, and I like sculled that, warmed me up, and had the smoke machine in the background and light, and it turned out really good, you know, like. And but yeah, it's all these little things like that made the clip is having that like rain effect, you know, like, and I think it looked decent, you know, for what it was, but it's like that took us all of maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, like to actually film, and like doused where I had young Zeke, shout out to Zeke MMA kid, I had him in that clip, and we did that pretty much in 2 half days. Like I went.
That's a dope video as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was, that one meant a lot to me. Like I usually have an intro on my albums and stuff, but I thought I'm gonna just go straight into it with that.
Yeah.
Made it the first track. There's a lot of debates between, like, a lot of people think that Dust is better or they think Balance Beam is better, but for me that's dope that people even thinking that, because I had no expectations with this release. When I put it out, I was just like, this is just shit that I never talk about. I'm just going to put it out, and it blew my mind the reception it got, because it was like it's not like catchy, it's not trappy, it's not fucking, you know, like bars and shit like that. It's just like just getting shit off my chest, and it just shows you that it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you know, like what religion you believe in or follow, and what age you are, if you come from a wealthy background or from poverty or anything like that. Everyone is human and feels the same and has the same emotions, you know, and it can be for different reasons. Like people go, oh, how can you be depressed? You're rich and you got all this stuff, but they might be lacking something else in their life, you know, like, or battling some other demons, you know, like, you know, they might be wealthy, but their dad died when they were young or something like that, you know, and it's, so many people reach out to me, and it was just overwhelming. Like,
yeah, definitely. You hear it, like it sounds like a much more, I don't know, it sounds sort of cliche to say, like a mature, more developed sort of album.
Well, that's what
concepts.
But it's good to hear you say that, because like I doubted it a lot. Like the album, I really doubted it, and didn't expect much of it. Like, and Grievous hit me up and said the same thing. He goes, oh, like this is probably my favourite TPW release. He goes, not because because he's like, you know, Shell's one of my favourite rappers in Australia, you know, like he's funny, he's fucking really skilled, he's an amazing lyricist and stuff, but for him to relate to as a father and, you know, as a mature guy, like he said, like, and it made me feel good. He goes, you should be proud of it because I'm proud of you, and like, and that made me feel a lot better about it, having someone that I respect and look up to, you know, like an older brother say that to me, you know, like because for me it was like, you know, I guess it comes with a sense of vulnerability putting such stuff out like that as well, and you don't really know how it's going to be taken or how you're going to be judged and all that kind of shit, and it was good to get the feedback that it got. Definitely.
Fucking oath, rightfully so as well. It's a solid album, man.
Yeah, it's a body of work. It's fucking nothing seems out of place.
Yeah,
I was worried that it wasn't going to stand up too, because like Bloodshot Eyes was like my tick out, like I said to you, you know, like it took me 4 years to make, and I was like, oh, you know, have a radio track, you know, and then like, you know, I had the radio track that was like Draft and Medusa, my wife, and then I had, you know, a party track with Grievous, and you know, the posse track with the crew, and all the, you know, a sensitive track about my daughter, and a barsy track, Wolfgang bars, and you know, nostalgia, Cabaret Road, all that kind of shit. I was ticking boxes and stuff, and it was like 18 tracks long and shit. And at the end of it, I was just like, it didn't. There's something about it that I didn't like. Like it just kind of like took a lot out of me, and wasn't received as well as I anticipated. You know, like I was like, what did I do wrong? You know, and I think it's because I was trying to tick boxes rather than, and that's why the album artwork in this one is very similar, and it's made to almost as like a piss take, like taking the Mickey, like the burnt Mickey Mouse mask, and it's kind of like the same image as the previous album, and but it just it's a lot more honest and stuff like that, and more back to the basics when it comes to why I started writing music, like to be understood. And a lot of people want to be understood, and I guess that's why I didn't think about it, that people relate with it, because everyone has that feeling of wanting to be understood, appreciated and loved, I guess.
How did you go about your like getting features? Like you got Dundee on Ego.
Yeah, so do you know what? I think out of all the tracks on that album, I hit that one on the head with the feature. Like, as I said, it was always intended to be better on that one. I gave him the bit of the concept, and then he had the idea with the hook, but then it didn't work out, and I hit up Dundee, at a perfect time, because he was also writing Phoenix, and Phoenix is very raw, very true, and very. He talks about ego and a lot of self-reflection on the album. So it was the perfect time for him to absolutely kill that verse, and he did. He came with it, and he did it so fast, and like got it back to me, and I was just like, this is fucking hit the nail on the head, like, perfectly.
It works both, like we've spoke about feature verses and shit numerous times. That is a track that shows someone's, fucking dedication to, like, give you their best, if you know what I mean. Like we've said, a lot of people will do a feature verse just for the sake of fucking
yeah. They just go, oh, yeah, I'll give you some fucking shit verse.
Yeah, like. But that song works so well from verse to the other verse. Transition's nice. The concept's all there.
Oh, he killed it, man!
Yeah,
like I was so happy. I was more than happy with it, and I let him know, you know, like. And then I copped Phoenix when that dropped, and I was just like, man, this is amazing. Doing all the acoustics and his vocals and everything, he's just like completely hit another plateau, you know, and like, props to him, like Dundee, you know, especially being a battle rapper and a dope artist, like one of the best in both realms. Usually don't get it.
No,
usually get a dope battle rapper, can't hold a fucking beat, can't, you know, rap syllables like to a beat and shit like that. Dundee's like a top tier artist, you know, a lot of respect for him for that.
I feel like that Phoenix release probably like bumped him up. Into
amazing,
like the top tier of
amazing
hip hop artists
release
at the moment as well.
Yeah, but that was probably one of my best features for that.
Yeah,
my favourite one on the previous album was probably the one with Taunts, Needle Full of Drano.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about that as well. How did that come about?
Well, I follow Taunts all the time, like. Making his beats, because he's got like dissemination, I think it's Dissemination Records, like he does his own instrumentals, and every now and then he'll be putting snippets up that he's got intended for his releases or something like that, and I'll hound him for it. Like that one, Needle Full of Drain, I was like, man, I need that beat, and then I was writing it and I was like, man, this would suit Taunts as well. So so I got him, I asked him, and he was like, fuck yeah, I'm keen as fuck, and killed his verse, like and ended up being one of my most favourite features off that album. And I guess got the Dundee one on this.
Got Hell on Earth as well.
Hell on Earth, yeah. We booked that in. We just went into the studio, proper, like, went in with Sam. We sat there, we made the beat, and had verses written and recorded it, and then went and filmed the clip for it.
Yeah.
Like, it was dope. Like, she was in town, but no one really knew about it, you know, like I didn't post about it or anything like that. We just got it done, knocked it out. And I love that track as well, like lyrically, the whole feel of it, and like I've always wanted to, I love using LC cuts, you know, like, and shit like that.
Yeah. But she's fucking, she's like another artist that's just on a whole other level.
She's a strong and real intellectual as well, like she's she's one of my probably one of my favourite artists in Australia, just for who she is and what she stands for. Let alone as an artist, you know, and the content in which she writes about, you know, like she's not one of those filler kind of artists. Like everything has its place. But I got a lot of respect for her. She's a teacher now, and like I think she's masters in linguistics. I probably got that wrong, but like she's teaching like people who are learning English from like different countries and stuff like that.
Is that why? That's because you commented on it when we were talking about the baby noises and shit. I feel like you commented on it and you tagged her and said, "Oh, this might be something you're."
Because there's actually a book a lady did that she studied babies for ages, and the sounds that they make actually mean specific things. They actually mean specific stuff. And there's a book, I can't remember what it's called, but she studied babies for ages, and they actually communicate. They don't know English language, but they make noises that that determine certain things. So it's amazing, like that.
Because we came across it. I'm not too sure if it's the same woman, but she's Aussie, and she was on Oprah, and it was like a fucking video from like ages ago. But we stumbled, like when Remy was first born, we came across it, and we used it, and it fucking worked. Like, you know, little things like if she was like nah, you'd know she was hungry, and when we came across this video and picked out all these different sounds and became aware of it, we'd hear her go, nah, and we'd feed her and she'd be sweet.
It's magic.
She'd, you know, make hour or whatever, and it was like she had wind or whatever the fuck it was. And yeah, it fucking works, man. It blew my mind, eh?
Such a trip.
I was like, holy shit.
But yeah, what other features did I have on that? I had Optimus. We went and made that beat at his place.
It was Lion or Lamb.
Yeah.
Lion or Lamb, yeah.
He was on about that before with how he finishes with like the Gargamel reference, because we
were literally talking about it the other day.
Yeah,
I think.
he was saying he wanted to try and get Gargamel into a bar, but it was like how, like, you know, and then he fucking did it.
Yeah, that's crazy, hey, like, and that was a good process making that as well. Like there was more to that track. There was like there was kind of like cuts that like Opto had kind of like he'd like we'd experimented with it and stuff, and we're going to put in, but I just decided that it was better to finish it the way that it finished, and which worked perfectly for the vinyl.
Yeah.
Because I just randomly went, okay, I'll just cut the album in half, like end at Steve's Revenge and that. And if I had left that on, it would have been over, because it needs to be 22 minutes aside. Yeah. And it was perfect either side. Like, so it was like 21 minutes 70 or something on the first side, and then the next side was like the same, like something like that. So it was a good decision, because it made the whole project kind of work, I guess.
I've never even thought about it like that. Like with vinyl records, obviously,
it has to be
limited to.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Foresight record's like a double vinyl.
Yeah, it has to be double vinyl. Yeah. But like But yeah, it was only ever going to finish at the album was going to finish at like I Give a Fuck, but then Medusa and I, like, we had a bit of a break and come back together and rewrote that track. So it's all real. That track is like everything we're talking about, and there's like but yeah, it was good to kind of finish the album on that note, because I guess a lot of the vulnerability of that album came from that time apart that we had, and me really like reflecting on myself and being able to grow as a person.
Yeah.
And because, you know, it's always like all the people we look up to, like superheroes and like action heroes and everything, growing up, they're all these real kind of like reserved, quiet, don't talk about my problems in my past, and macho kind of men and kind of thing. And that's what you grow up being. You don't talk, but then as soon as you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you know, and that's what I did with the album, and it was such a good thing, and it was good for me and my marriage in order for me to grow as a man. You always think you're a man because like, oh, I drink beer, or I you know, I smash sluts, or I do this and that, you know, like, you know, I'm a man. But being a man is fucking looking after handling your shit, like looking after your household, looking after your family, you know, and, you know, or never thinking that you're, like, never having that ego about you that like, oh, I'm a good person, you know. It's always finding ways that you can better yourself and grow as a person and be open to change and in order to become wise, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Because I mean it's like we're talking about Fxck and stuff like that. It's like people will always judge you, you know, but it's like, yeah, people are always going to judge you. And you can't listen to that judgment, because it's like it's what you do with what you learn, you know what I mean? Like, you could be a fuckhead your whole life, or you could make mistakes and own up to it, be a man about it, and learn and use it as a stepping stone to better yourself, you know? Like, and a lot of people are like that. Like Cogs, man, like Cogs is full, like, I'm proud of him, like being a like the family man that he's become, and you know, seeing him with like his boy and his partner and shit like that. Because, man, when I met Cogs, man, he you know, I take my hat off to him, because he had it hard growing up, you know, and he you know, we recognise the talent in him, and like a lot of people like Shaker, Grievous, myself, and believe in him, and he carried it all himself. You know, you can't take away the work that he's done, the hard work he's done as an artist, but he's more than just that. Like, the person himself as a person, not Cogs as Drew, has matured and progressed so much, and it's proud to see, like, if you know him, you know, like, he's one of my favourite people, even though like we haven't really seen him much lately and spoke much, because like I said, I deleted my Facebook and my music page. Like, I deactivated it and stuff, and just trying to stay off all that shit and Messenger. So a lot of people get shitty at me because I've been like all about my family at the moment and shit, like, But yeah.
No, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just I mean, fuck, I wouldn't mind taking a break off social media and shit. To be honest,
It's good, man, and you don't realize how much you are actually addicted to it until you stop. Like you go check your Instagram. You wake up in the morning, grab your phone. Everyone does, you grab your phone. Go on Facebook. Oh, it's not there. Oh, yeah, I deactivated it. Okay. Go Instagram. Look through your Instagram, and then you close it, and you go straight to your Facebook again. You go, oh, and then you open up your Instagram because you're looking for some sort of stimulation, and that's the problem with kids these days is they've got no attention span. They find nothing interesting because they've got everything on demand, streaming on demand, music, games, anything that they want. Order it. You got food coming to your door. I want it now. And that's that's a lot of kids' mentality are now. I want it now. I want to do this now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
a track off the album as well that's really stood out to me is TNs. I don't know. Hey,
that was about him.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because I found it somewhat relatable. Like, I mean, I don't have a son.
Well, no, but you're a father now, and and the whole premises of that song isn't specifically about TNs. It's just I took him shoe shopping, and he picked the TNs, and what those TNs meant to me, and growing up, and the life that I lived. I thought it made me think about what I leave for him, what kind of influence I have, and being as a father, it makes you reflect on yourself.
For sure.
A dad might listen to that and go. Like, oh, I didn't take that. People don't go, oh, I don't take my son shoe shopping, or I've got a daughter. That's not relatable to me. The concept of the track is reflective, and that's what parents they listen to that and they go, yeah, like I wouldn't want my kid growing up the way I grew up. What kind of input am I having on the way that my child grows and develops and shit like that? Like I said about, I got to watch my mouth sometimes, like I'll be playing that Crash Team Racing with them and be like, oh, you dog. Next morning I'm making the coffee and I hear my daughter go, oh, you dog. And it's like, oh, God, And then my daughter had a sleepover party the other night for her birthday, and all of her friends were like, they go, how come Aish swears so much? And I'm like, oh, shit. Even Tyson will go, oh, shit. Oh, shit. And you go, no, goodness me. And he goes, oh, shit. Goodness me! They're just little sponges, you know what I mean? And that's what that track was about. I took him shoe shopping, and he goes, "Oh, I like those ones, want those." And I saw the TNs, and I was just like, had all these flashbacks, you know?
Well, that's it. I mean, I think that's why it resonated with me so much. It's just in general, like I thought back, as I was listening, it was making me think of things that I'd done, and it was like, man, there's a lot of shit that I'm proud of as developing and growing up as to become the adult I am, and I probably wouldn't change any of it either, but there is a lot of things that I've done and it's just like, why? I mean,
especially having a daughter, it'll make you reflect on as well is how did I treat women growing up? Because you reap what you sow, and it's like you think about all the things that you did or the things that you might have done that were negative towards women, or your opinions or the way you spoke about them or whatever. Like I even see it at work, you might have a mate and his daughters work up there or something, and you hear how some of his mates talk about his daughters behind his back, and you go, that's fucked up. My daughter's beautiful as fuck, and when she gets older, it's like my mate's going to be looking at her going, oh, if that wasn't his daughter, this and that, you know what I mean? And it makes you think about that kind of stuff, and it makes you, there's not a lot you can do about that, about the behaviours of other men and stuff, but what you can do is prepare your daughter for that stuff and let them know what, how they should be treated and how they expect to be treated by a man. And that's what your role is to set the standard for her of how she should expect to be treated.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
Because so many girls, like their dad, they don't have a good relationship with their dad, or their dad, will fight with their mum and talk to their mum, and their daughter will see that they grow up and then they have some abusive man and they think that that's normal, and they're quite behind their smile and shit like that, but you've got to raise a strong woman, especially these days, things are looking good for women, like women's rights and stuff like that, and it's something that honestly I never really thought about until I had a daughter.
A lot of guys say the same thing.
I was going to say, I would say the same, and like what you said about just thinking back to how you've treated women and stuff. Like, I know for a fact that I've definitely said things I shouldn't have said, or made comments about girls and stuff growing up as
And it's all about the cycle. It's all about the cycle. It's like what you see growing up and what you hear growing up and stuff, and it's about being the break in that cycle. Like, and just because I have a daughter, and like I said, I've got to show her how she set the standard for her, but I also have the same responsibility to my sons to show them how to be a man and how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways. So I don't just want to go, oh, prepare for the worst, darling, because your brothers are going to grow up and this is what they're going to be like. So I have to go, prepare for the worst, but don't, this is how you should be treated. Don't expect anything less. And then go, this is how you should be treating a woman, never, never let a girl treat you this way and stuff like that. Like, just because you can't hit a girl, it doesn't mean it's okay for a girl to hit you. Stuff like that, like it goes both ways. And I think it changes a man's life having a daughter in a good way, and only if he's prepared to let it change him in a good way. You have to, like I said, you have to be willing to grow and willing to accept things and learn things and admit that you've been wrong and stuff like that growing up. Like,
yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
very wise words.
Yeah,
well,
very
profound.
wise words. Yeah. Fucking hell, I'm just like sitting here, passing
on my knowledge, what I've learned.
Yeah,
you know
just
what I mean?
thinking, just thinking, man.
People, and this is the thing that I'm. It's important to me as well too. Like with my releases, I try and keep them as diverse as possible and give people a little bit of all of me, because a lot of people, I've had it before. Like even like Bitter's seen it as well. People come up to me and they go, "Oh, Sever, I expect you to be this mean, staunch cunt." He goes, "But you're a good cunt, like this and that." And I remember Bitter like snapping at someone once, going, "Why? What? Because he has to fucking be a hard cunt all the time and smash people." It's about being real when you need to be. It's about being that person when you need to be and picking and choosing those times and learning to be delicate, soft, kind with your children and to people and being nice to people around you and stuff like, and but you don't have to always be that person, And that's something that I've learned growing up as well. It's like you don't have to always be like that. Like I've always just been kind of like real reserved kind of person, and I have this like relaxed, angry face, and people find me standoffish and stuff. So I never saw it as my responsibility really. It's like if people view me that way, that's their way, but that's their fault, that's their prerogative or whatever. But I'm making an effort now to be more welcoming to people and more accepting, and let people know that there's more to me than just fucking like the street music that I used to put out and stuff. It's like I'm not there anymore, you know what I mean? Give me a chance to grow and be a person, like, and you find that I'm not a bad person, like.
Yeah.
Everyone fucks up in life. Everyone does bad things and comes from different pasts and backgrounds and shit like that. But yeah, you should never judge anyone because you don't know what they're going through or what their story is or the kind of person that they are.
Yeah.
And that's what I think was one of the best things about my last album, Like I Give a Fuck, is because I guess it showed a lot of vulnerability and let people know more about me and who I am. And that was a big problem for me all round as a dad and as a husband and stuff, was not letting myself be vulnerable. And that really took a toll for a long time, because I didn't know how to deal with things that I thought, like I always thought that my older brother was weak because I'd watch him get bashed the fuck up like by my dad, and like 18 years old, his bike gets stolen, he curls up in the ball and he's rocking back and forward crying, and I'm like, that's not me. Like I dealt with my upbringing real good. I didn't realise the effect it had on me. It was different. My brother was dealt with things on a surface level, like he cried, he sometimes creates stories in his head to make things seem better and stuff, whatever. But mine was I just buried shit, and I thought that I was okay, and I'd never faced anything, like. I feel like this is a good opportunity to plug like Beyond Blue and shit. Like I'm getting deep here, like, but no, it's real, and it's we grow up in this society, and a lot of us had fathers that are like, manly men smoke and drink, and it's all the footy and the boys around, which is great. You can do all that shit, but it's like our fathers never talked to us. They never said, "Oh, it's okay what you're feeling, mate." We always got toughen up, stop crying, you stop being a little girl, like, and all that kind of shit, and it's the stuff that sticks with you, like. And it's important to. It's like we're men, and women are women, but it's like we're all human beings. We all feel the same thing. We're born with the same two emotions of we feel love and we feel pain.
Yeah.
Like from the get go, and we just get taught to cover up that shit growing up, and those emotions are female emotions and they're weak and they're inferior. When if anything, women are we're more inferior to women. Women have a higher pain threshold. Women have less ego about them. You know, like I mean, there is a lot of ego within women as well, but that's forced upon them by society and like society's social standards, the way they should look, the way they should dress, the way they should perform and look after men and all that kind of shit, you know, like, but we're all human. We all feel the same thing. We all got a heart. We've all got a mind. You know, we experience things all the same. Like, so yeah, it's important for men and fathers with their sons to let them know that it is okay. It is okay to feel and to talk about your emotions and stuff, because that's the only way we're going to get rid of the fucking suicide rate and shit. Yeah. Kids are just lost. They don't know how to fucking talk. They don't know how to vent themselves. They got no one to talk to. They don't know where they can go, and they feel like it's bitch if they do. Like they hang around all these dudes that put on these tough facades, and they feel safe with those people, you know. But those are the people that'll drop them on their ass quicker than anyone. Yeah, yeah. Because they've got the same shit going on inside. You know.
Yeah, it's fucking.
That's the call to wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, shall we wrap it up then?
Yeah, there's gonna have to be a part 2 sometime.
Definitely. We will wrap it up.
Cheers for coming out.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Madly appreciated.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
I've been enjoying the podcast. I'm glad you guys are doing it. Keep it going after the COVID.
It's cool to have a fucking bit of an introspective conversation.
Yeah,
as well.
I listen to the podcast all the time, and I want to kick it and talk shit and all the dumb shit. Like, so just talk dumb shit and like have a laugh. Like, I love listening to all the podcasts, but I guess I got a lot more to say.
And I suppose that's the idea. Is it's sort of, you know, you can talk about your music anytime. Come back, talk about it. Yeah. But I suppose it's giving people another look into you as a person. What inspires you?
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, on that note...
I'm definitely going to write notes for next time I come in, because when I'm listening to the podcast, I'm going to write down... because, you know, I sit there in the dig and I go...
shit that we got wrong.
We got Terrence here. We got Terrence from Thornley.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming out, man. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate it. And, yeah, we'll wrap it up. Hope you've enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
It's your boy, Illdok.
It's your boy, Blerbs.
Sever, Psych Ward.
Peace.